Bradley Barcola to Liverpool for $120 million is a done deal. Aston Villa buys Nicholas Jackson, sells Watkins to Saudi Arabia, and brings back Jack Grealish. Emiliano Martínez has agreed to transfer to Chelsea, while Liam Delap officially joined Forest. This is Boot 24, and let's jump right in. Nottingham Forest officially announced the signing of 23-year-old English Chelsea forward Liam Delap. The deal value sets a new record in Forester's history, standing at £45 million sterling in guaranteed payments, with the total package alongside add-ons reaching £50 million. The player successfully passed his medical and signed a 5-year contract with the club. This marks the second time in the current transfer window that Forest resets its transfer record, following the arrival of defender Ousmane Diomande from Sporting for €40 million. Delap became the fifth summer addition for Oliver Glasner's side, following Diomande, Gustavo Sa, Xaver Schlager, and Steven Benda. Delap himself did not hide his emotions after signing. "I cannot wait to get started. This is a massive club with a great history. I spoke with the manager and I really like his style. I believe he is the one who will help me develop and take the next step. I am looking forward to hearing the noise of the City ground and feeling the fans' support." The departure of the former Chelsea player occurred against the backdrop of clearing out the forward line under Xabi Alonso, where following the signing of Danny Welbeck and transferring the number 9 shirt to João Pedro, Delap was removed from first-team training. A year ago, Chelsea acquired him from Ipswich for £35 million, yet across the entire Premier League season he managed only a single goal. Liverpool reached an agreement in principle with PSG for the transfer of 23-year-old French winger Bradley Barcola. The total financial package of the transfer reaches roughly £120 million sterling, of which over £100 million is guaranteed. Executive leadership for the Merseysiders, represented by Sporting Director Richard Hughes and FSG President Mike Gordon, is closing its main summer target, having agreed key terms directly with PSG President Nasser Al-Khelaifi. Barcola is viewed by the Reds as a cornerstone of the renovated attacking line under Andoni Iraola and a long-term replacement for Mohamed Salah. The 23-year-old winger himself flatly refused to extend his contract with the Parisians and was left out of the squad for the Ligue 1 opener against Rennes due to transfer talks. The Frenchman's path to becoming one of the world's most expensive wingers is a story of patience. In Lyon's academy, he was long viewed merely as a skinny, modest talent nicknamed Grasshopper who remained in the shadow of Ray and Cherki. However, following his breakthrough at Lyon, 2 Champions League titles won at PSG under Luis Enrique, and a World Cup performance for the France national team, where he scored 3 goals and featured in all 8 matches, Barcola transformed into an elite attacking performer. His arrival grants Liverpool long-awaited explosive speed on the flank and opens the door to sell Cody Gakpo to Manchester City or Tottenham. Following the agreement for Bradley Barcola, Cody Gakpo's future at Liverpool has fallen into major doubt. Merseysiders head coach Andoni Iraola, speaking at a press conference ahead of the match against Nottingham Forest, directly stated he cannot guarantee retaining the 27-year-old Dutch forward in the squad before the deadline shuts. When the transfer market is open, you cannot guarantee anything about anyone. Cody performs brilliantly for us, but experience tells you if an opportunity arises on the final day to reinforce the team or receive the right proposal, we will use it. On September 1st, we will clearly know all our options, emphasized Iraola. Heavy attacking recruitment by the Merseysiders triggers a chain reaction. Tottenham and Manchester City continue actively pursuing the Dutch forward, and the arrival of a new natural winger gives Reds leadership the green light to sell Gakpo should a solid offer arrive. Beyond Gakpo, the futures of Federico Chiesa and Harvey Elliott remain uncertain. Both players have dropped out of Iraola's main rotation, failing to make squad lists for the season's opening matches. While Chiesa is currently recovering from a minor muscle injury, Elliott is losing the battle for a spot on the bench to youngster James McConnell and risks changing club registration in the final days of the window. In parallel, Liverpool continues a feverish search for another natural right winger, Yet here, the Merseysiders face fierce resistance. After talks for Yankuba Minte from Brighton hit a complete dead end due to the Seagulls' unyielding demands of over £70 million sterling, while the Reds offered £60 million, the Merseysiders turned their attention to 28-year-old Crystal Palace Senegalese forward Ismaïla Sarr. Liverpool submitted a proposal of around £50 million sterling for Sarr, and the player himself gave fundamental consent for a move to Anfield. However, Crystal Palace instantly rejected the approach. Sarr was the top performer and leading goal scorer for the Londoners last season, so new Palace head coach Pierre Sage is adamantly against selling his key man late in the deadline. Leadership at the London club declared they will only release the Senegalese player in the event of an astronomical proposal, forcing Liverpool to seek alternative options before the transfer window closes. Aston Villa is orchestrating a grand squad upheaval in the closing days of the summer transfer window. Head coach Unai Emery is completely rebuilding the team following the departure of key leaders, as the Birmingham side finalized and prepares a whole series of explosive deals. Officially confirmed is the signing of 31-year-old German midfielder Leon Goretzka. The player joined Villa free of charge as a free agent, ending an 8-year stint at Bayern Munich. Unai Emery personally telephoned the German, laying out his key role in the system after the collapse of talks for João Palhinha. Negotiations were finalized by the roof agency, with the player signing a 3-year deal. A true bombshell became the agreed transfer of Chelsea forward Nicholas Jackson. Aston Villa will pay a total package of £65 million sterling for the 25-year-old Senegalese player. Jackson previously performed under Emery at Villarreal, where he scored 13 goals and now reunites with the coach. The transaction does not fall under UEFA regulations regarding direct player swaps, despite Morgan Rogers moving to Chelsea for £117 million. In parallel, Villa is conducting a radical clear-out and renewal of its attacking line. Ollie Watkins said goodbye to teammates and coaching staff, closing a move to Saudi Al Hilal for £50 million sterling. The Saudis offered him crazy wages, around £400,000 per week, which the player simply could not turn down. Also leaving the Birmingham side is Tammy Abraham, who sits close to a loan move to Ipswich Town. To complete their new attacking galaxy, Unai Emery personally reached out to Rafael Leao. Milan has already accepted an official proposal from Turkish side Galatasaray worth €45 million plus add-ons. Yet the 27-year-old Portuguese player prefers a move to the Premier League. Villa is pressing the Italians, demanding a loan with a mandatory buyout, and the coming hours will prove decisive. Overall, this summer became a true tectonic shift for Aston Villa. A good half of the squad left the team, and most importantly, players who formed the fundamental power of the Birmingham side departed. Arriving in their place are no less talented and marquee performers, yet the biggest issue lies elsewhere. Villa has zero time to build cohesion, which is usually forged during preseason camps. For Unai Emery, this season will prove perhaps the most insane challenge of his career, as he will have to mold a new group literally on the fly while competing in the grueling rhythm of the Premier League and the Champions League. And just how quickly the Spanish tactician manages to piece this puzzle together will determine the team's final outcome. Another major line in Aston Villa's rebuild touched the goalkeeping position. London Chelsea approached the Birmingham side with an inquiry regarding the transfer of 33-year-old Argentine goalkeeper Emiliano Martínez. The services of the World Cup winner were officially offered to the Blues, and Villa itself stands ready to part ways with its longtime number one against the backdrop of signing Zion Suzuki. The catalyst for this deal became a complete disaster for Chelsea in the goalkeeping department. Despite Xabi Alonso's hopes that Robert Sanchez could provide stability until the maturation of 21-year-old Belgian talent Mike Penders, the very first match against Fulham turned into a bitter failure. Sanchez committed two gross errors, first conceding a near-post goal with a 97% XG save probability, and later palming a ball weakly straight into the path of Gonzalo Garcia. Constant insecurity from the Indian-Spanish goalkeeper has poisoned Chelsea's defensive line for several seasons now, rendering the number one spot the Londoners' weakest link. Against this backdrop, Signing 33-year-old Martinez is viewed by Chelsea management as the ideal solution to the problem. Dibu brings immense experience from decisive matches in World Cup finals and European competitions, displays monumental confidence in one-on-one situations, and commands the defense during high-intensity moments. Parallel to Aston Villa's squad overhaul, 30-year-old former Birmingham captain Jack Grealish took center stage. Sunderland submitted an official proposal to Manchester City regarding a loan for the winger with wage coverage and a full buyout option in the summer of 2027 when his contract expires. However, this situation is far more intriguing than it appears. Sunderland is not currently a priority for the winger. Direct contact with Grealish's entourage was established by Aston Villa itself, which is considering a sensational return for its academy product, as well as Everton, where Jack spent last season on loan before missing nearly half the campaign due to a severe injury. Grealish left his boyhood Aston Villa in August 2021, moving to Manchester City for a fee of £100 million sterling, which the Manchester side paid via release clause. At that moment, the transfer set an all-time historical record for the English Premier League, surpassing £89.3 million for Paul Pogba, while standing as the most expensive sale in Aston Villa's history and the costliest purchase of a British footballer. Over 5 years in Manchester, Grealish won the treble in 2023 and made 159 appearances, yet Enzo Maresca does not see him in the main group. A potential return to Villa Park could become the climax storyline of the deadline for Unai Emery. Italian Fiorentina reached the decisive stage of talks with Manchester United regarding a loan for 25-year-old Dutch forward Joshua Zirkzee. Negotiations are moving extremely fast, with the parties currently ironing out final details for a paid loan at €5 million with a future purchase option. Throughout this transfer window, interest in Zirkzee was expressed by several Serie A clubs, notably Juventus, Como, and Roma. However, the Viola seized the initiative ahead of the deadline, urgently seeking a replacement for goal scorer Moise Kean, who sits close to a €25 million move to Como for Champions League action. Zirkzee joined Manchester United from Bologna in 2024 for £36.5 million sterling, yet over 2 seasons failed to lock down a spot in the Red Devils' starting 11, scoring just 9 goals in 75 appearances. In the event of Zirkzee's departure, United leadership under Michael Carrick plans to urgently enter the market for a temporary backup in the attacking line. Tottenham officially announced the signing of 27-year-old Egyptian Manchester City forward Omar Marmoush. The transfer was completed on a 1-year loan with a mandatory purchase option setting a guaranteed £50 million sterling plus $10 million in potential add-ons. Following the fulfillment of buyout terms, Marmoush will sign a full 4-year contract with the Londoners, featuring an option to extend for an additional 12 months. Marmoush himself did not hide his excitement over the move. It is an incredible feeling to be here. I am very happy to start working with the team and cannot wait to meet the fans. Tottenham is one of the biggest clubs in England and the world, and this project proved extremely attractive to me. I spoke with head coach Roberto De Zerbi. I really liked his vision, and I am confident that our passion for the game will bring a great result. Marmoush had performed for Manchester City since January 2025, when he was bought from Eintracht Frankfurt for nearly £60 million. With the citizens, the Egyptians scored 8 goals in 36 matches, yet lost direct competition to Erling Haaland. For Tottenham, Marmoush became their 8th summer signing, arriving right behind his former City colleague Savinho. The Londoners' overall spending in the transfer market this summer has already blown past a staggering £300 million sterling, and it is very interesting what final spot they will take in the league table.